Thanks for tuning in. It's Lee from Lee Brogan DIY and Home Maintenance.
Hello there, it's Lee from Lee Brogan DIY and Home Maintenance. Today we're popping out a shelf. Now, I thought I'd do a video on this one because these are quite difficult. What we got in these bolts, they are monsters, aren't they? But we're going to need these because we're putting up this bad boy. Now, it's on a dot and dab wall. Dot and dab wall is basically block work. They dab bits of plaster, stick the plasterboard to it. So there is a very small cavity, so we need to breach that. I'll show you how to do that as well. And these basically go in, doink, this part's got to go in the wall. So I'll show you how to do all that. There's an easy and hard way of doing this. Now, it's a two-man job really. To do it the easy way, you need two people. So unfortunately, I have to get my idiot mate in there later on to help me. What else we got? All you need: drill, spirit level, pencil, spanner to do these bad boys up. You see all that. Got one. Okay. Tape measure. What we're going to do, work out where we want it. So we're going to get it central to the bed. They've already told me the height they want it. Roughly the same height as there's a window in there. So we're going to try and keep that level. Get the bolts in, and I'll show you them out the walls. The difficult way is measure the holes, get them exact. That's always open to. Can be very awkward. You can miss a hole, and you need to be a couple mil out, and that's it. It won't work. So I'll show you how to mark them up, and they're guaranteed. So we've measured the wall. We know smack in the middle of the bed. That's our mark. We know the height we want it. Made a mark on the wall. Bolt. The bolts go in and out. They just slide in. Okay. So what we've done, we've got three of them. This one's dead centre, so this would be our mark in the dead centre here. We're going to leave that hanging out. These two push back. We're going to offer the shelf up to people with the spirit level, make sure it's dead on level. This will then go on that mark there, and we'll slowly ease it back, keeping it level until we get to a point where a little tap, boink, and it will leave two extra holes. Or three actually, because I've not drilled them in yet. So I leave the three holes. There'll be your three drill holes, and then you can't go wrong. There's no measuring mistakes, there's no tape moving, there's no problems with your levels. That'll be spot on. But that is a two-person job. So if there are two of you about it, it just makes life a lot easier to make sure your holes are 100%. Right? So I'll get my mate up here in a second. We'll get it leveled up. We'll get the marks on the wall so you can see how to do it. Like I say, you don't need to get a handyman or builder. These are the easy ways. Right, so what we're going to do now, get this lined up. As I said, spirit level, two people. Oh, you want to grab the end of that, mate. So we're going to line the first bolt up on the mark that we wanted. We know that's central. We've got everything ready. We're going to very gently touch the wall with that first screw. Push back a little bit. Right, I'm touching. Paul, you want to go up a little at your end. Down a little bit. Down a smidge more. Smidge more. Right, we're happy with that. So now we're in the right position. I'll hold it steady. Now we'll cut the taps, you give it a little bash wank. Like that, do it in the middle. Lovely. And drop it down. That's beautiful, thank you. So now without any measuring or messing around, the holes are marked in the wall. Show you those in a second, and then we're going to drill them out, put some plugs on. Do mate. Right, so the shelves are marked, you know, it's all it's done. There's made little dots in the wall. Okay, so we're going to drill them out first. Then we've got to drop a 10mm bit through there. But what we will also find is there's a cavity to breach. I'll show you how to breach the cavity. And it is only about 1 inch. So give me 1 second, I'll get me drills. Okay, pilot holes are drilled. So we've got everything where it should be. But what I've done is a small hole first. For me, I've got an inspection camera. Basically, because I don't know anything about the house, so I'll make sure there's no wires, no pipes, because they're dry on wall. Sometimes builders get a little bit quick with their work, shall we say. Drop wires and pipes anywhere because there is that small area. So I never take that risk. Got my camera, had a good look. For you, get an electrical tester or some of them, the stud finders, they can normally pick up electrical and any steels, anything that's going to cause you aggravation. Worth doing that before you start whacking holes, and particularly when I'm doing it at somebody else's house. So they're ready. I've got a 10mm drill bit now because that's the next thing I need. I'm going to get through the plasterboard, then I'll get into the block work, and then I'll show you how to breach the gap with a wall plug. We've got a 10mm drill bit, gone through the walls. Now it's 10mm, so I've read the instructions. So just finish off. That's 3 holes. Right, so what we've got now. Ow. Actually, ow a lot. Got your holes, got the cavity, got the gap. Now, if you just put that size raw plug in that hole, there's nothing there. It's just going to fall about. So that needs to go. We need to get through the cavity. You can't put your hands there. You've got to go into the block work. Okay, so what we do, all 3 in, assuming you can drill in a straight line, of course. So they're all in. What we do, I've used a big concrete bolt. Anything you like, as long as it's not going to damage the raw plug too much. You get a little tap, so it's disappearing through. That's now into the hole, and that's now into the block work. So the raw plug is actually located into the block. That's where the strength is. There's no strength in plasterboard. Like I said, I need dot dab. Again, just a few little taps, get it through. Okay, so you feel the tiniest bit of resistance. Unscrew it out, and the final one. Right, again, out, a little bit of resistance. So now the raw plug is actually through the wall, through this stud wall, the cosmetic side, it's into where the strength is, which is all the block work. Okay, next thing, what we're going to do, we're going to put these in with an adjustable spanner. Now if you notice on these, it's going to be really difficult to show you actually, they are slightly offset. See the big gap there? You turn it around, it's not central. That gives it a bit of movement, so obviously that'll be lower, that'll be higher. So when you finish screwing these up, just make sure there's some grooves in here. We're going to put an adjustable round. If they're all in the same way, then you should have all the bars set correctly, because if your holes are right, if these are in different positions, you're going to struggle like a lunatic. Okay, so I'm going to pop these in. That'll take seconds, literally. That's into the raw plug. That's into that raw plug. That's into that one. Okay, and it's just a case now of getting the spanner and tightening them up. And once I've tightened them up and got them correct, we'll be putting the shelf on. Right, so we were talking about the grief you can get with the bolts going in the square. Okay, if you've done what just shown you, obviously easy with 2 people, this should go straight on and be a finished job. You could put a little bit of no nails behind it, belt and braces, but I mean the weight it does weigh a lot. It doesn't really need it. It's just what you want to. And if your walls are slightly up, so anyway, I'm bluffing for time now just in case this doesn't work. Bingo. There you go, chaps, that's done. Final bit is items, that's all you're going to need to pop it up. You need tape measure to put it, locate it where you need it on the wall. You put your centre mark, you push it through, you get your marks as you saw. Spirit level goes on the shelf. You need the pilot drill first, just to get your holes. Double check there's nothing beyond the walls that's going to be horrible and you're not going to get any horrible surprises. 10mm SDS bit. Not necessary. Any 10mm bit. I use SDS because I have one, because it makes life a lot easier. Then obviously when you get the bolts in the wall, you need to tighten them up. Remembering to keep the bolts at the same level, because obviously there is that 2 or 3mm gap which could throw your shelf out. And finally, my favourite tool, hoover. Give yourself a little hoover out and clear up. And that is what you'll end up with. Secret fix, held, solid, exactly as you want it.
Thank you so much for watching. It's Lee from Lee Brogan DIY and Home Maintenance. Hopefully this will give you the confidence to have a go yourselves indoors. Thank you. Bye bye.